Hi everyone. Happy Sunday. Intending you are well. Intending you are at peace. Intending you are happy, healthy, wholesome, grounded in your being. I'm on today to read again. I'm reading The Esoteric Philosophy of Love and Marriage by Dion Fortune, Chapter 5 and 6 today, on this lovely Sunday. I'm starting with the 7 planes of existence, and the Sevenfold Man will be the ending of our little session here. Thank you guys for being present with me. If you are here, just know that you are honored in this space. You are welcome. There's no judgment allowed. There's no bad vibes allowed. So, welcome, guys. I'm going to begin reading the 7 planes of existence. The planes of manifestation are commonly designated numerically, but they are not numbered from above downwards in the order in which they come into manifestation and in which order they have, for clearness' sake, been presented to the reader, but from below upwards in the order in which they came or they become perceptible to the esoteric being who is developing clairvoyance, and in this nomenclature, being the one established by custom, will therefore be employed so that those already familiar with the subject may not be confused. I'm going to stop right there just to let you guys know. I said this before, this woman is not American, so the words that she used, you might not be able to understand. I, for the sake of everyone, am going to be simplifying these words, so if I'm pausing, I'm thinking of another word to use instead of these words she's using here, because, like I said, that whole thing I just read is literally, I don't know if you guys can see it on Facebook, you can't, but on Instagram, you see it's one sentence, so run on galore. So pardon the choppiness in my reading. I'm a very proficient reader. However, this woman is not, whoever published this book did not help her very well in making sense. Like, what I just read was one sentence. So, and here's one more sentence. The 7th plane, also known as the upper spiritual and the plane of pure spirit, or the plane of abstract spirit, is the first phase of manifestation. It draws its substance and energy direct from the great unmanifest, which, using the pictorial method, the only method by which esoteric science can be taught, may be conceived as lying immediately above the 7th plane and as being a reservoir of infinite potential force. When it becomes actual, is referred to as being upon the 7th plane of manifestation. And in the other chapters I read, I let you guys know that we should be pulling energy into our being. It should be coiling around our spines and going around like this, up and down, in and out, around. No energy is stagnant. No energy is not moving. That is how we get blockages in our energy centers, right? That's how we develop dis-ease and all these low vibrational feelings, emotions that we feel. Upon this plane, there is no differentiation whatever. And it is the plane upon which all are one and one is all. And bless, guys. I haven't read up to this chapter, but on my Instagram, or in general, that's what I refer to myself as. All in one, one in all. That's all we are. Modu, all connected, one stream of energy, just different vibrations of it. It has but 2 characteristics. The first is absolute harmony, and the second, a tendency towards combination among its particles. Upon this plane, at the beginning of an evolution, issues into manifestation the monadic essence, in which may be conceived as floating those innumerable nuclei of life in the monads, which is consciousness, which eventually develop into the individualized human lives. So me, you, Julian, Ebony, everyone's watching, Tasia, we are simply individualized reflections of a light. The 6th plane, the lower spiritual or plane of concrete spirit, in the course of ages of cosmic time, evolution brings the organization of the monadic essence to the phase of the 6th plane. Hereon, it is found to diverge into the 7 different tendencies, 7 currents of outflowing, which are called the 7 rays, and are designated by color names, and it is held that the monads, which may be conceived of as floating in each of these streams of spiritual tendency, will evolve to their ultimate perfection by means of a different type of activity. One sentence, guys. That whole paragraph. And it's important that you guys listen to the other chapters so you can know what you're following. I mentioned, just as she said, the 7 rays, they're used in America with the 7 colors. They're more than 7 chakras, but we're just going to focus on the 7 here that we express ourselves through. Let's keep that in the forefront of our minds. The energy centers that, we have and express ourselves through. This partiality does not imply a one-sided development, but that although all elements must be present, one will predominate and give the keynote. The prime characteristic of the 6th plane is tendency. The 5th plane, the upper mental or plane of abstract mind, sees the development of qualities in the monadic essence and its differentiation into types. From this point onwards, it will no longer be justifiable to speak on the monadic essence, for upon this plane, the life nuclei come into function and life becomes lives. The 4th plane, the lower mental or plane of concrete mind, is characterized by finiteness, not infiniteness, finiteness, which, while its limits gives a definiteness which is lacking upon the higher planes, it is a plane of concrete thought and is characterized by memory. So far, guys, we have individualized human lives, our tendencies, how we show up individually, our memory, the 3rd plane of the upper. Here we go, we're moving up, right? The 3rd plane, or the upper astral, is the plane of emotions and are characterized by response to attraction and the desire for union. The 2nd plane, the lower astral psychic plane, is the plane of instincts and passions and is characterized by the desire to attract or possess. And the 1st, or physical plane, is the material world known as by human beings incarnate in bodies and flesh and blood. I was just talking about that. We are not bodies. These are our burdens. These are our tests. These are our lessons and blessings. These are our tools. A body is a tool. You are not of flesh. You are not. You're electricity. You're electric, baby. Chapter 5, the Sevenfold Man. What you are and what I am purposed here to share with you all so that you may embody and be the Sevenfold Man. And there's no reason why all of these thousands of years man was connected, got disconnected. Like, we need to stay connected. All of us, not just 10% of us. The 10%ers, 5%ers, 2%ers. It is obvious from the foregoing remarks that man is composed of substances drawn from each of the 7 planes of existence. By means of these elements in his nature, he contacts these planes, and if he were without an element proper to any particular plane, he could not perform the functions appertaining to that plane, applying to that plane. Thus, if a man were lacking in substance derived from the 3rd plane, he will be devoid of tender affections, incapable equally of feeling them for himself or understanding them in others. And I just posted a video about that. All those white men who keep coming on my page, spewing nasty energy. Fuck off. I'm not going to apologize about that. You guys are disconnected, and I said I'm sorry that your mothers and your fathers and the community that grew you did not implement these in you, in your roots, did not allow you to experience tender affection. So you can be understanding. I come from a place of understanding. I'm open to receiving other people's perspectives and learning from them. But when you come into my space and you try to project your nasty negative energy, let me tell you, one, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Two, it's going to come to you tenfold, not 3 times, 10 times. Because my purpose here, me, I'm not a game, not a toy, I'm not a tool. I have no ego to satisfy. I don't need to satiate anything except for my soul. Another one of my oracle cards. Each of substances proper to the 7 planes is organized according to the laws of its own plane. It is referred to in esoteric literature as a body, but the expression state of consciousness conveys a more exact impression of the esoteric meaning of this term. Let the reader, in order to grasp the implications of this esoteric doctrine, conceive himself as having, in addition to his physical body, which is built of the matter of the first plane and responds to its conditions, an organized system of instincts and the passion to which they give rise. Let him also conceive himself by means of the sympathetic induction of passion in himself, a common phenomenon, as able to perceive the passions of others. Let him call this aspect of his nature and psychic or passional body and conceive of it as functioning upon the second or lower astral plane. Let him then conceive of his emotional nature as similarly organized and related to its own plane of existence. Likewise, his reasoning faculties and power of abstract thought. Finally, his spiritual nature and the ultimate spark of divine life, which forms the nucleus about which his individualized existence is built up. Thank you guys for being present with me. Thank you so much for your time. I'm just saying that right now, so I have a little bit to read, but I'm really grateful for it because, like I say every day, every time I post something, my time is everything to me. And to be able to share it with you guys and to share this kind of wisdom and knowledge and my own streams of divinity, it truly is a gift, and I'm just so grateful always. Thus, it will be realized that man has, as it were, 7 different aspects to his nature, and that each of these aspects is referred to as a body by esoteric science. For those of you just coming on, those bodies will be referred to as the chakra centers, those energy centers that keep us balanced, right? Which are, they respond to the conditions in the environment in which we are in. The monad, in the course of its evolution, is conceived of as gathering about itself the matter of each plane. But long ages of experience and development are required before the masses of matter concerned become organized into definite bodies capable of functioning both subjectively and objectively. In other words, ages pass before the forming bodies are sufficiently evolved to carry on the functions of their respective states of existence and to be aware of external conditions on their own planes of manifestations. I said that, you guys, what shows up is just a test. It's to determine whether or not we are to graduate to that next level, experience, emotion, all those things. Our ascension, our success, our transcendence, our how we materialize what we wish to experience here on earth is all dependent on the external conditions that you are aware of. It's not about awareness. I'm going to do a video about awareness because it's so important. I talked about intention and attention, but awareness is a whole nother thing. To be aware and to witness, I'll talk about it another time. I'll keep going with my reading. The physical body both functions as it is aware of its environment by means of direct consciousness, but in the average man, this is the only body that has yet obtained its dual development. In him, however, the second, third, And very often in civilized races, the fourth plane bodies are sufficiently developed to be capable of functioning subjectively. But it is not common to find a fifth plane body developed, carrying with it the power of abstract thought, and still rarer to find a true development of the spiritual nature, as distinguished from emotional ideals appertaining to the third plane, which are often mistaken for true spirituality. The real spiritualists. Bless you guys. In a more evolved type of man, however, we may get a development of one or more of these subtler bodies, in which enabled them to perceive their environment by means of direct consciousness, in contrast to subconscious impressions, as is the case in the unevolved man. Thus, instead of merely being influenced subconsciously by the emotional states of his fellows and himself, what arises in our beings, we have to be able to discern, to be able to negate, to transmute. Okay? Follow me. Please. I only want you to heal. I only want you to experience the grandest and most blessed thrills life has to offer. And I'm just a stream here for you guys. I am literally just a stream. You guys like water? Let me hydrate you. Okay, thus, instead of merely being influenced subconsciously by the emotional states of his fellows, without knowing what is the matter with him, as is usually the case, the evolved man is fully conscious of the feelings of his companions. Because I make you comfortable. Because I allow you to show up where you are, and I meet you where you're at. I talked about me being a tall tower and trying to receive energy from towers that are not as tall. Well, guess what? Real, true, tall towers, real, true, spiritual beings meet you where you're at. The first thing they do is they're concerned about you. They inquire about you. They're not projecting things about themselves. They're not asking you for money. Yes, we need to get paid to, live as a human here, because that's just how it works. But that's not the first thing we do. It's just not it. I'm not worrying what's the matter with you, because I'm already understanding enough, and I'm already where you are to know. And that's just it. These are the people you should be wanting to work with. These are the doctors, the whatever you see, therapists, that you should be wanting to work with. And I'm not just saying that because it's me. If I weren't me, I would be the only person serving me as far as like medical practitioner, therapist, anything. It's just amazing, I'm just reflecting on all the spiritual beings that I know that possess still only the four bodies, not in the fifth, sixth, or seventh, are still wondering, what is the matter with him? I see your matter, I'm understanding of it, and I just want to heal you. Evolution is steadily developing the subtler bodies, as proved by the fact that what is called physicism is increasingly common in its minor manifestations. It is a little understood fact concerning man's nature that, although a synthesis of all the states of consciousness is the highest form of existence, it is possible, by concentrating upon one state of consciousness, to limit intention to that state alone, and by this means to perceive as a world of its own the plane of manifestation to which it corresponds. When he does this, a man is said to be functioning in his astral body upon the third plane, or in his concrete mind upon the fourth, and while he is so engaged, the physical form, owing to the detachment of consciousness from its nervous system, is found to be in a state of trance. The nervous system, I swear guys, all of these things I talk to you about, I have products, I have services to help. I'm just one being though. That's my downfall here. I came here as one, and I got so much energy, so much to share. It's a little hard. It's a little challenging. I face challenges. to produce everything so quickly for you guys. I'm doing labels, ingredients, making the products all myself, all the descriptions, advertisement. It goes on and on and on. When you think of a brand and you think of what they have to do, on top of me helping out a beautiful couple who has a service here in Detroit, lots of clients, I'm helping out a lot. So I'm doing my best, guys. But I swear, I just want to serve you. You should be open to receive this kind of energy, this kind of love, this kind of light. I want you to live your life in a trance. Got me in a trance. Seriously, guys. I want you to be so magical that you can just draw things to you. And guys, stop worrying about money so much. I know you have to pay your bills. I know you want things. You know what I'm saying? You have to eat. You have to take care of your children. I do too. But I trust. Thank you, Tasia. I know you're feeling it because you are a real one. And I thank you for your time. You just have to be assured of yourself. Be confident in yourself. That's just it. No worry, no fear, no doubt. No disconnect. I want us always to be connected. You know, we're all outlets. We're all these wires and electrical impulses. You guys connect and do the work. Be right. Be willing. Be ready. Facts, Tasia. I know it. Those who have the necessary knowledge deliberately entrance themselves in order to obtain extensions of consciousness upon the planes which they are otherwise unable to contact in the stage of development to which they have attained. But it is little realized that the extent to which this expansion of consciousness takes place involuntarily in sleep among persons who have evolved a little beyond the average. I'm going to stop right there too. I just posted like what you see in your dreams. It's real. When I dream, it's no different from me being here with you like this. I'm there, except for I can also see like an area view. I can see everything, and then I'm still me in the dream. I know it's hard to understand, but it's like watching a movie, but also being a part of the movie, directing the movie. That's how life is, and that's how dreams are. You guys better use your tools, use your connections. The true aim of evolution, however, is not to segregate consciousness. It's not. But to correlate it. And I have correlations. Oh, so much to share with you guys. Correlations for astrology, numerology, traditional medicine, complementary alternative medicine, herbs, aromatherapy. I have correlated everything. One stop shop. My chart will be published in my year 1 with my oracle deck, my EP, etc. But yeah, correlated. And the trance method of transcending physical consciousness is merely a temporary. It's temporary. Please don't think that always going into a trance will connect you to divinity. That's just one way. You know what I'm saying? It's temporary. Expedient. It's not it. 5, 6, and 7. I'm gonna read chapter 7. This phone's about to die, Facebook, but Instagram's got me. The esoteric concept of life and death. Esoteric science asserts the eternity of life. Its central concept is conveyed in the word reincarnation, which implies an enduring unit of existence ensouled in a succession of transient bodies. In order to render this concept clear, it must be remarked that the individuality and the personality constitute two distinct aspects of man. The individuality is composed of the 3 highest bodies and the spark of pure spirit of the 7th plane, and the concreted spiritual nature of the 6th plane, and the abstract mind of the 5th plane. These, once they have been evolved, are conceived of as enduring for an evolution and then being absorbed back into the infinite as organized centers of radiation. Radiation. Light. The 4 lower bodies, the concrete mentality, the emotional nature, the passional nature, and the physical body, are regarded as temporary accretions of the matter of their respective planes, which the individuality employs as a vehicle and which collectively are said to compose the personality. How you show up is based on how you feel, guys, what you believe you feel, what you are conscious enough and wise enough to discern as you, and what is not of you. I hope you guys are enjoying my commentary, because I know I am. The personality is built up in order to enable the individuality, which is formless, to acquire experience in the world of form, and is discarded as it wears out and its usefulness diminishes. The experiences through which it is being absorbed by the individuality as food for its development, which means that you as a soul, yes, you're going to come back to earth over and over and over and over and over again until you have reached in your being, until you've done enough work to transcend. And for death, the reason why I don't view death negatively is because I know that the body served its purpose. The soul was weary. The soul was in pain. Why would you want those people to continue to be present here with us on earth? Shit happens how it's supposed to. Go with the plan. Go with the flow. Stop thinking you know when you don't know. I really don't like that word. No. Like, no. That, like, N-O. Like, that's such a silly word. It works well for knowledge, because it's like a knowing on a ledge, on a platform, right? But to know something, that's a very inaccurate English word. I bet you in Arabic or any other language, it makes more sense, the word. I'm going to figure it out too. Thus, it is the individuality which undergoes evolution in the course of ages, whereas the many personalities related to the merely developed function aged and die. But as each personality is built up by the individuality which has progressed, it is more of an evolved type and its predecessor. So the individuality then is said to be the unit of evolution, and the personality the unit of incarnation. Beautiful. From the doctrine of reincarnation arises the esoteric theory of destiny. The term destiny, it may be mentioned synonymous with the term karma employed in the Eastern school. So X the fuck out of destiny. This is your destiny. Don't confuse it. Your destiny equals your karma. Fuck the D. No, the K is what matters. It's your karma. See, you see how English, listen to me guys, English is a disgusting language. It is so manipulative. It is so divided and scattered. It's no definiteness. It's such a destructive language. And I'm sorry I have to communicate with you guys through it. And I'm sorry that it's such a predominant language in this world. It's totally awful. Because for someone to say, this is my destiny, some people would think that, like, I don't know, like, it's so bad. Destiny and karma are the same things. You reap what you sow. That's just it. A man's destiny is held to represent the sum total of the cause he has set going in past lives. All the shit you've done is coming back to you, which determines the conditions of the present. So whatever you did in the past, you're wondering, why me? Why is this happening to me? It's your karma. It's your destiny. It's what you created. All that energy spiraling, it spiraling behind you, causing the present to form and shape. It's really sad. That's why I'm living such an amazing life now. Granted, in the earlier years, I went through, like I said, hell on earth, but I was strong enough and wise enough to know this is my test. How deserving am I? How willing am I to work for what I want to receive? How willing are you? Those are questions. Ask yourself that. So, a man's destiny is held to represent the sum total of the causes he has set going in past lives, which determine the conditions of the present. But fresh causes are constantly being introduced by the modifying action of the will. Therefore, fate is not the inevitability of the esoteric thought conceives it to be, but is a conditioning rather than a determining influence. True, some causes set going in the past may be so strong that no effort of the will avails them to stay their course, and they have to work themselves out till their force is spent. But by his will, a man may determine the reaction he will make to them, whether he will be crushed or purified, exalted by opportunity well used, or degraded by its abuse. You guys hear me? I've done shit in my past. My karma's instant. That's how I know this is my last go round. Everything I've experienced in my life, some of the bigger karmic lessons I understand carried over from past lives. But when I do like silly little stupid shit, or when I've done silly little stupid shit, that shit happens to me instantly. My karma is instant. And that is why I function and flourish as who I am. Because it works for me. It works so much better for me when I am exalted by my opportunities well used, no matter how they first show up on my path, no matter how dark or deep or destructive they seem. I face them. I face them with peace and love and happiness, because I know I'm going to overcome them, and I know that what's on the other side tenfold is going to, happen and balance everything out even more. I smile like this because the stream is just so real. Esoteric science teaches, therefore, that although a man has to work out his problems in the condition in which he finds himself in any given life, and in a limited sense of his short section of time, because life, guys, is like 15 minutes, or I'm not gonna say it, it's maybe like 5 days. The astral realm, like, this shit, it seems like, this day is taking so long. Like, you better be grateful for the time you have. Man, life is a blink of the eye. And when I return back to where I am from, I'm going to be rooting for you guys. I'm going to be working in spirit. I am just going to do the best that I can to help you all and bless you all as a astral cosmic being. Promise. Sorry, my Facebook Live died. Thanks, Instagram, for holding it down. The last things from chapter 8 I'm going to say are that, therefore, although man has to work out his problems and conditions in the present life, right? Let me start this over. Although a man has to work out his problems in the condition in which he finds himself in any given life, and in the limited sense of his short time, he has not got free will, yet can so determine the causes that shall go forward in his future, that he can make of himself whatsoever he desires. So for those of you who believe we have free will, we don't. Our will is based on what we've done and what we're doing. So, yes, guys, thank you so much for your time. Blessings and bliss your way.